So staying on the topic of Mac Jones and kind of veering away from, veering away from the running backs and kind of looking at the offense as a whole. Mac Jones certainly struggled, had his fair share of rookie struggles last season. We saw him make some, frankly, rookie mistakes, and that's, what everyone expected. No one expected him to come up and become Tom Brady. Well, maybe some did, but not the sane ones. And I personally didn't see anything that warranted any drastic changes from last year, but a couple of players thus far in training camp have mentioned that the offense is more simplified this year, and that's a quote from Trent Brown, and that was echoed by Kendrick Bourne. They also noted that there's certainly going to be more of a sped-up offense coming this season compared to last year. So my first thought is when they say sped up, when they say simplified, I'm thinking more play calling, more basic play calling, but more no huddle offense. And so I instantly dove into the numbers, and I wanted to look at exactly why Belichick thought this would be a good decision. So just covering the basics, Brady excelled greatly in the no huddle offense, and a lot of people like to point to Brady being, Mac Jones's comparison, I guess you could say. And so maybe Belichick's, whole thing is to try to work them through that same path. And as Brady became really, really good at running offenses through no huddle, you're trying to get Mac Jones to follow that same way. I don't know. I mean, that's certainly an option. But I think the biggest thing is the numbers simply point to it. Last year in the no huddle offense for the Patriots, we had a 51% successful play rate on no huddle offenses. And pretty much what that means is you have to gain 50% of the yards required to move the chains on first down, 70% to gain on second down, or 100% to gain on third and fourth down. It's really complicated, but pretty much look at it as like this. If you're first and 10, you get to second and 5, that's a successful play. If you're second and 10, you get to third and 3, that's a successful play. And if you're third and whatever and you get the first down, that's a successful play as well. So it's really just like, it's your basic, you gain enough yards to think it's a good play, it's a good play. So on 51% of the no huddle offenses that we ran, we were able to gain a successful play. That's contrary to 50% on huddled offenses. Now you may say, 1%, it's really not that big of a difference. But if you really think about it, if you're analyzing huddled versus no huddled, you're thinking about organized offense versus rushed offense, you'd like to see a bigger discrepancy there. And you didn't last year, at least. And so I pushed even further in, and I wanted to see in the second half of games, did the Patriots gain an advantage in no huddle, or did they gain an advantage in huddle offense? Was there a bigger discrepancy in the second half of games? And there actually was. And this is where I think Belichick might be looking to pick this up and kind of exploit it in the year 2 for Mac Jones. 61% of the no huddle plays in the second half were successful plays. And that's just compared to, again, 50% of the plays called in the third and fourth quarter with huddled offenses were considered successful plays. So that's an 11% difference between successful plays and unsuccessful plays when you're comparing no huddled versus huddled. So quite frankly, in the second half of games last year, we saw a significantly higher successful play rate when we didn't huddle up as an offense. Now, whether that's Belichick pulling the tricks out of the bag late in the games and people, letting the coaches see stuff they haven't seen yet, I don't know. You're going to have to make that determination. That's, more so secretive for the Patriots organization. But there's without a doubt reason to believe that as a whole, the Patriots performed better last year with Mac Jones in no-huddle offenses compared to huddled offenses. And so I think personally that's why Belichick is looking to speed up the offense. And when Trent Brown and Kendrick Bourne say simplified, I really just think that means more call-outs, more different audibles that are easier to recognize for the team. And instead of drawing up these crazy plays and having to go through them in the huddle, I think simplifying the game for Mac Jones and really playing to his strengths, which was what we saw last year, is going to provide a lot of cushion for this team that is going to be needed because, like I said, we mentioned in the last podcast, I think Mac Jones might see some regression this year. I hope he doesn't. But did Bill Belichick do enough to help him out? I'm not exactly sure. Maybe instead of helping him out with wide receivers and tight ends, he decided to help him out in the playbook in the scheme category. And so we'll just have to wait and see on that.